I'm going to talk about XLM, also known as Stellar, and whether or not I believe this is going to go to the moon and why. Now, 8 months ago, November of 2024, this is July of 2025 when I'm putting out this video. But back in November, I said, I think it was around 9 or 10 cents. I said, I think this will 2x or 4x. I don't see why it would go much higher than that. It has 4x'd. So that came to fruition. Now, between then and now, a lot of things have changed that I want to talk about. Some new things have come to light as to why I think this is going to do extremely well. The other thing is, I've gotten comments that people want shorter videos that are to the point. I'm going to do that, but do me a huge favor. At the end of this video, leave a comment below and let me know, do you like the shorter format, just get to the point, or do you want some more in depth because I can do that? Please do hit that like button, leave a comment. Please subscribe if you haven't. And also, at the very end, I'm going to talk about my crypto school. If you like my videos, you're going to love my school, daily updates, and more. I'm Brian, Big Dumb Animal. Don't do what I do. Informational purposes only. That's my disclaimer. Let's get into XLM. If you're not familiar, XLM and XRP started about the same time. XRP, Ripple, started first. Their CTO was John McCaleb. He left Ripple. He stopped working on XRP and he started XLM. So at one point in time, they were both started by the same CTO. He's currently still the CTO of XLM. Why would he have done that? Not because he didn't like the XRP technology, but because he didn't like the market they were going after. So in a nutshell, Ripple, XRP are going after large institutions, large banks, moving as much money as possible. He wanted to go after and help out individuals moving money. Sort of the same technology, but different markets. So here's how it works. Stellar, XLM, is used for cross-border payments and moving money, but typically, like I mentioned, smaller amounts, more for like individuals, could be payroll, could be other things, but not billions of dollars at a time. It's to be fast and it's to be extremely cheap. If you're familiar with trying to send money to another country, and you wanted to use like a Western Union or something, not picking on them, but there's usually high transaction costs. So if you're losing a couple % of what you're sending back to another country or whatever it may be, that's significant. But if it's only 0.00015 or whatever it is cents a transaction, then it's next to nothing. So essentially, there are on-ramps. So you get your money into, let's say, a Stellar wallet. It is then converted into XLM, sent to the destination, and converted into their currency and off-ramped, for example, into a bank. So example, I'm taking some USD and I'm putting it, on-ramping it into this wallet, converted into XLM. It is then sent to another country, converted to that currency, whatever it may be, maybe a Japanese yen, and then they're able to take it out into their bank. So a lot of crypto has no problem doing the center part, going from here to here. It's the on-ramping and off-ramping. Stellar has thousands of those already. That is significant because that's the major problem, on-ramping and off-ramping. Now, we're going to get into some major things that have happened recently, and then let's get into pricing. April 2025, recently, Stellar sees $3 billion of real-world assets coming on-chain in 2025. I'm not going to get into anything else. Real-world assets. Why is that a big deal? Well, just like Ripple and XRP and Stellar, XLM, started off with, let's just do cross-border payments. I think they've both realized, wow, we want to get into other markets. We want to grow. What else can we do? DeFi, real-world assets is hot. As well it should be. It's very useful. They moved into real-world assets. This is a big deal. This wasn't available last time I talked about it. Now with this, I'm saying now XLM's looking a lot more interesting to me. They did a deal with PayPal. PayPal on Stellar can be used for fast, affordable cross-border payments. Most importantly, in my opinion, PayPal users have access to a vast network of on and off ramps. Of course they do. That's a huge deal. So now they're even going to expand more, and they're working with PayPal as opposed to against PayPal. That's great. Do you want to fight the 800-pound gorilla, or do you want them standing next to you fighting alongside you? I'll take them alongside me. Now, recently they announced they've got a developer conference coming up sort of end of this year. Those are always good. A lot of interesting things can come out of those. news-wise, and sometimes that actually kind of pumps the price. But here's what I really like. Last thing I'm going to say about Stellar. On their website, you can find quarterly reports. Most crypto does not do this. There are no regulations. They don't have to do this. Now, they can put anything they want in there. They've been doing it since 2020. For 5 years, they've been putting out quarterly reports. You can pull them up, PDF. They also have a blog. But just wanted to point out this one RWA, real world assets, payment volume, 3.4 billion. It says these payments are flowing through healthcare, humanitarian aid, cross-border payroll, real use cases already scaled. Nothing against XRP. They do not put out quarterly reports, and they do not tell you how much banks are sending around. That's one of my biggest issues with them. But in terms of XLM, they are very transparent, putting out quarterly reports. Okay, now as you see down below, I've got I Trust Capital. There's a QR code you can scan, or there's a link in the description. 3 things. You click the link, it'll take you to the site, you create a free account. You put in at least $1,000, I think that's the minimum, into one of the IRAs. And then lastly, you're going to get that $100 bonus, you can start buying crypto. I have been a customer for 3.5 years, that's why I talk about it. I wish I could have done this 30 years ago because you have no capital gains on your earnings. Buy crypto, sell crypto, rinse, repeat over a long period of time, no capital gains. Link down below in the description. Now, let's look at where they are. If we look at coin market cap, if we scroll down, they're currently sitting at number 12. Here's what matters. Market cap, 14 billion. Fully diluted, 22 billion. Let's compare that to XRP. Why? Essentially same technology, just different markets. XRP has a 200 billion market cap. Stellar's 15. So that's like a 13x, I believe. And then if we look at fully diluted, what did we say it was? A 22 billion. XRP's a 320 billion. So that tells us there's a lot of room to grow. Just looking at, again, their market cap of 14, fully diluted of 22. They have a 50 billion total supply of tokens. 30 is out. So what's that? Like 60% is out, which is the reason the market cap's 14, fully diluted is 22. Now let's look at the chart itself. I've got a lot on here. But I wanted to point out, as you see here, it was around 9 cents last November, December. That's when I had done that original video. I haven't done one since. Then it shot up in the November, December timeframe with a lot of others. It had since come down. It looks like it really wicked way down here to 20 cents. But if we zoom in, you can see, and these were just some old fib lines, it really had run back up and then it tested that and took off. These volume shelves here, the largest of which it has recently gotten through. So it's resistance and then it becomes support. We look at the volume, the OBV volume. It is literally straight up. You want to see that when the price is going straight up, that the volume is also going straight up, meaning it's actually being pushed by volume. This isn't some fluke. There's a lot of buying pressure. It had a sell-off there. It had a nice drop, quite a bit sold off. Not surprising because that had the most choppiness in the past. And then it's sort of come back. Now, you don't want to look at things in a vacuum. Meaning, if you looked at this, you might say, this is the best thing I've ever seen. I got to buy it. There's many cryptos that have done this exact same pattern because of the recent run up in the market. Not all of them have done it, but this tells you probably one of two things. Either one, it's one of the most favored cryptos, so it should end up doing very well, or it's just one of the cryptos that will move first because oftentimes money will rotate through industries and or categories in crypto. So if we look at the high that it was not too long ago, it had wicked all the way up to like 60 cents. It's at 46 cents. What would I expect this to do? Let's just use some basic numbers. Currently, the total market cap is around 3 trillion. If we expect it to get to 10 trillion, I've heard less, I've heard more, that's a 3x. That's just if it follows the total market. Then we move into altcoins. Now, it's almost a top 10, but let's just consider it an altcoin. Everything other than Bitcoin is considered an altcoin, but when it comes to others market, the others market's around 250 billion. I've heard that people think it's going to get around 2 trillion. That's an 8x. So if it just moves with all the other crypto, not necessarily at the same time, but that's an 8x. You know, an 8x would be like $3.20. Now, since it's gotten through here, if it does use this as support, it's just less and less resistance as it moves and then just goes right into price discovery. So I believe this is an excellent one. I always talk about full transparency. I don't own it in my portfolio, so to speak, spot, but I do have futures with leverage on it that I got a while ago. Very happy with this trade. And I think it will continue to do really well, particularly because it's getting into the RWA and the DeFi space. And please do take a look at my crypto school. It does have a monthly fee, but there's a group of people in there. We talk every day about individual cryptos. We have discussions. And then I have courses on great detail into whatever it may be, putting crypto into an IRA, opening a particular wallet, moving money between wallets, how to buy on an exchange, you name it. I put a lot of time into it, and I'm developing new courses all the time. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I hope this was helpful.